Hello, Aso. How are you? How's life? Hope you're doing well. You're the first one up. Excalibur. Let's see how the uh, connection is today. Hopefully, you'll be okay. How is the resolution of the picture, guys? It's kind of foggy here, but how is it over there? Because I had to make sure it's not a high bit rate so it will go through rather than get stuck and lag. Ah, okay, so yeah, not HD. If I want to put it HD, then every word come out of my mouth takes about 2 minutes to get to you or three. So I've decided to separate the Facebook and YouTube. I'll do YouTube, then I'll do Facebook. In that way, I'll attend to both groups. It seems like you guys prefer one or the other. Not, some of you want to be on YouTube, some of you want to be on Facebook. So eventually I would have to do only on one of them. So we'll see. Marielos, good, 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 good. As long as you guys can see me, okay. All right. So, okay, while we wait for the others show up, if they show up, if they see we are on, if they get the notification, then we can start. And Marielos rubbing it in by announcing the 24 Celsius warm, nice weather in Guatemala rather than, what is it? It's probably 3 degrees here. Just 3 degrees over freezing in Vancouver. Well, I know where I would like to be if I had a choice. That would be in Maui. That's what I consider my second home. I love that place. So Excalibur says you would be with horses in sunny summer. Yeah, I would be with horses for sure. The ideal would be a nice parcel of land in Hawaii, Maui, with a couple of horses and the and the practice ring. But it's a little bit too hot for horses there often, unless it's an indoor with air conditioning, so the horses would be comfortable. Bruno asks, what is your favorite song? Really don't have any favorite. There are lots of good songs, mostly songs in 1970s, mid and late 70s. I think they were the best of all, and some in 80s maybe, but mostly in that era. There were lots of good songs, and we were in university at the time, and dancing, discos, and school dances, and outside would all gather and go. You know how it was. So it was all good music, good dancing music. So nowadays, then they changed. 1980s and 90s, I think, end of 80s and 90s, I think they were the worst. They were just all rap music and things, and the rhythms and all just wasn't there. But then again, it changed a little bit. So there's no favorite. As long as the tune is good, beat is good, harmony is good. Depends on, what one expects. Sometimes mellow music, sometimes different fast music. Excalibur says, haha, my only problem with horses is they can kick the hell out of you if you invade their comfort space. Yes, but you know, it's the same as anybody. If you invade anybody's comfort space, they would like to kick you out of that. Maybe it's not going to be physical kicking, but it'll be with the energy exchange or the facial expressions or some kind of a maybe verbal expectations or expression that you would be clear that you stepped over the boundaries. But the horses, there's you know, in everything there's a proper approach. If you know horses and how to approach them, and if the horse is not crazy, it'll all be fine. You never want to spook the horse. You never want to surprise the horse. You don't want to go behind the horse when the horse doesn't know and doesn't have contact with you. Like if you're trying to go around the horse, you better have your hand as you walk from his head toward the neck and toward the back of the horse. Have the hand follow on his skin or her skin. Just move your hand as you walk around. So you'll be on his bum when you actually pass behind his legs. Your hand is touching his quarters in the back of the horse. So he feels that you're not a threat and you're not a surprise. He knows what you're doing. It's like a communication with anything else. So if you carry and connect, you know, conduct that communication properly, they won't kick you. They're lovely creatures, smart. It's an amazing experience. Anyhow, meanwhile, back in the ranch, we have Aso have a question, and then we have Mariolas. And Excalibur doesn't have a question, but says, I see. Can you know if they think you're safe? Yeah. You mean to feel if they're in danger or not from you? Absolutely. They feel your sense. Animals, you know, they're not necessarily relying on communication of words between you and them, but they feel you as you enter. They feel you, they sense your energy, they exchange energy with you, and most of it is all non-verbal, of course. And sometimes you can use your voice in order to encourage them to do something, and of course different signals when you're riding a horse. But they feel you, sense you, often far better than other human beings who are insensitive or don't know you. But the horses, even if they don't know you, they sense you. They sense the energy that's coming. Because as you know, we are entities with mind and body, physical and energy. And this energy enters into a room or a place where you're going towards much earlier than you arrive. So that's why whether you're in business, any meeting or sales situation, you're going into a meeting or a conversation or maybe a presentation in a classroom, you always want to, before you arrive physically into the classroom, into the meeting, into the wherever it is you go, you extend your energy, send your ki, Japanese call it ki, Chinese call it chi, send your energy through. It's like somehow you go in there and try to broom the room and water it up, freshen it up, and then for the guests to come. It's like cleaning the room. So you send your energy through, and it goes in there, introduces you to the people in the room, puts that feeling, and then you enter. So in other words, you've created a pleasant atmosphere, a welcoming atmosphere for you. And these are real stuff that when one gets to know and learn them, can use them all through their lives. There's an energy that goes beyond you, all around you, passes through you, and you try to learn how to control it. And that could be in relation with the others, how you communicate with them, how to interact with them, things you do. Even if you play golf or tennis, this ki, this energy has a lot to do with how you perform. Soccer, how your body actually performs better when you have mind and body coordination, when you have ki and energy extended toward the nature, and you have this conflux with the energy of the nature while you're doing your thing. Even running. I remember I was in the army And I was, of course, before being in the army, was in university in the States, and I had studied martial arts, Aikido, mind and body coordination, learning about this energy, ki, meditation, and so on, very heavily into that. And so when I finished university and went back to my home country of birth at the time, and then of course went to the military service, as every university educated kid had to, until they get training and all that, so forth. There was a program anyhow. So I remember that, what was I about to say to you guys? I forgot the story. Yeah, so I think I was trying to tell you about it helps you in anything that you want to do. And so in the army, you try to do whatever you can do to get out of things that you don't want to do. So we would, every time they came and asked us who wants to be a part of the, I don't know, soccer team or the swimming team or volleyball team or track team, every time our hand go up, because that would give us an opportunity not to do the regular things that we had already done hundreds of millions of times, and we didn't want to get out of it, marching and all that. So one of the events that I actually raised my hand, which was pretty much every one of them, was running, track team, which I wasn't a fast runner, but I thought I like it anyhow, and I will use it as an excuse so I can get outside of the base. We go with the team to compete with the other units and so on. So it was a way to get away out of the base. But I remember the day that it was a competition, they were being selected, we were being selected. Everybody in that heat was tired. It was a 5,000 meter run, and they were choosing the runners for the team of the base. And I was one of them. We had one guy who was really apparently the champion of all bases, so he was going ahead. And we were like, I don't know how many, 20, 30 of us. A bit later, there were only 5 of us left. It was hot, and it was a long running, and people getting tired and, going out. And I was one of the ones who had stayed. And every time we would pass a certain part, they would hose us with water, because that's how hot it was, to help us endure. So it was very tiring, but I remember how I was enduring it was not physically, because I wasn't physically as prepared as some of the other good runners, but it was the mind that was extending energy through and helping myself, encouraging myself to follow and focusing on what I want to do, keep my mind focused on the job rather than distraction, encouraging the energy. So I got accepted as one of the team members while I was not the fastest runner. Then it comes to the time of competition a few weeks later, and we started a 400 relay. And lo and behold, I was the first one starting the run with other bases runners right beside me. And one of the guys who was running right at the same time that I was running from some other bases, the competitors, he was a champion of all bases. So my goose was cooked, I thought. Yet I had a trick, and that was what I had learned in mind and body coordination, meditation, power of mind, and so on. So I started running fast, and I left him behind. He was experienced. He knew he shouldn't run himself down at the first 100 meter. But he came. So I slowed down so he arrives. And as soon as it got to me, I speed up again. And then I slowed down. So he arrives. And as soon as he arrived to me, shoulder to shoulder, I sped up again. So I did that about 5, 6 times. Every time he tried to pass me by, I didn't let him. Eventually, he got the idea that he can't. So I kind of sold him the idea that you cannot. I'm faster than you. Which I was actually dying myself, but my mind was helping my body to perform. So eventually, he simply fell behind. He believed he can't do it, while he was much better runner than I was. So lo and behold, I finished what I had to finish and was able to pass the baton to my next guy, and I won my meet, my heat. So I'm trying to tell you that there's something more than what you think you're all about. If you're facing a strong challenge, if you're facing something that is very challenging to you, whether it's studying in university, in your schooling, a job, a project, something you want to do, you need to understand that you're far bigger than what you look like and what your physical abilities look like, what your size is, what your entity is as your physical portion. There's another portion to you. That's your energy. That's your key. That's what makes you do whatever it is that you do. And when you combine that and understand your relationship with the energy of the universe, energy of the nature, by meditation, by understanding how it's done, then you can use that in all aspects of your life, whether it's playing tennis, golf, running, doing your projects, your relationships, your tolerance, your abilities to force yourself, push yourself, encourage yourself to do things that seems to be impossible in reasonable ways or difficult, but you will take the challenge and you will fulfill it. Anyhow, let's get back to your questions. So we have Aso, first one. She says, how do you deal worthlessness and the feeling of you not being enough at all or not being special or important to anyone? How do you deal worthlessness and the feeling of you not being enough at all or not being special or important to anyone? Well, you know, that is the question, isn't it? Every one of us have been conditioned from childhood that we must be better than the other ones. We must be more than what we are. We must be, and we have been compared by so-and-so, the teacher, the mother, the father, the uncle, the policeman, whoever it is, your religious leader or your community that you're doing something as a volunteer or as part of a company. Always compared that in childhood, your mother or your auntie said, oh, look, so-and-so's daughter or look, so-and-so's son is so good at school. Look how polite he is. Look, you got to be like him. You got always compared with somebody else and made us feel as if we are not enough. Like me, myself, who I am, how I am, what I am, how I do things is not enough. I have to be more because somebody else does something that I want to do better or somewhat different, so I must be better than them. So I have never really gotten to know myself. I've always seen myself through the mirror of the others that I've been compared to, that I should be like them. Never had the opportunity to be who I want to be or who I'm comfortable with as far as my efforts and plans and directions that I want to take. But I had to see myself, the image that they create for me, which is that boy, that son, or that student, or that athlete. These are why you today think that you're worthless. But because why you say worthless? Worthless means comparing to something. How could you be worthless? When you say worthless, that means you don't know yourself. You don't know the value of life. You don't know the value of your blessings. You don't know what you're doing in this world, what it took for you to be here, and you simply say worthless. Worthless bases on what? That somebody else have not complied or recognized you as you expected them to recognize you, and that makes you worthless. So your value is dependent on the opinion and the evaluation of somebody else on you, which that somebody else's worth and value in their mind depends on somebody else to evaluate them. So who is this people that in your mind, their evaluation has caused you to think that you're worthless. So in other words, you're not even in control of appreciating and respecting your own entity unless somebody else tells you who you are or how valuable you are. First, you got to change that in your mind, that your worth and value is not dependent on who out there from outside tells you, says, or how do you measure it? By the attention that they give you, that tells you your worth. By the attention that somebody else, by the affirmation or words or opinion of somebody else, that somebody else, himself or herself, needs somebody else to affirm them, you are now considering what your worth and value is. So that question, to begin with, should never be asked. Worthless. How do you deal with worthless? Why should you be worthless? The fact you're in this world, that means the world decided that you're worthy to be here. Because as you know, not everybody gets to be born. We discussed this before, when your mom and dad tried to, make it happen that you will be born. Every time they tried, there were like over 300 million sperms produced. So there were 300 million other possibilities of a boy or a girl could have been born. But out of all that, only one was the winner, was more determined, was the worthiest one, fastest one, smartest one, most intelligent, most persevere. And that was you. So to begin with, you were born worthy because you already proved that you were worthy. Because if you want to compare in competition, that's the biggest competition of life. To survive, to be born, and you beat them all. 300 million. What are the odds of the things that you compete here in this world? They're never 300 million. You're never up against 300 million, up against one or two. And yet, you think now you have to compare yourself with this and that to get your worthiness. So to begin with, you have to understand that you are worthy to be chosen to be in this life, as every one of us in this life. We all have some kind of a role in order to make this puzzle, or in order to make this organization, this intelligence of universe, this whole hoopla of life, this whole mechanical process of the whole entire world of ours to function. So your worthiness is already proven by you being part of this, what needs you as well as many others to function the way it should. So that question really should not be left to what you do, what you have, who pays attention to you, who tells you anything in this world. It's already decided that you're worthy. That's number one. Number two, not being enough. We talked about it. You're conditioned to think you're not enough because you've been compared all the time. But every one of us are enough, and every one of us is doing our best, should be doing our best to learn and accomplish and do things that we think we would be contributing to ourselves, our families, our societies, communities, to the world as a whole in a positive way. Now, to be special or important to anyone, well, who you should be special and important to anyone is to the definition of life. It's not to people, how you live, how you do what you can do in life, how you persevere, how you deal and manage challenges, how you go through life, how you plan and execute those plans, what you accomplish in life. These are all really what makes you important in your own eyes and in comparing to what you wanted to accomplish and what you have accomplished. These are all the criteria only. These are all the measuring sticks only. Who else can tell you how important you are than you? When somebody tells you that you're important, why? They probably want something from you, or they think you have certain benefit for them. So what's this important? What made them qualified to be the judge of who's important and who's not? That you're waiting for somebody else to tell you you're special, you're important, rather than you know that you're important by simply just being here and being part of this whole journey of life. Not everybody gets to experience this. So the way you deal with life, negotiate life on a day-to-day basis, The things you learn about how you tick, how you work, how you function. These things that we talk about will help you to know who you are, and you can help others in life. What is thought, consciousness, fear, desire, ego? How are they interrelated? How do they have a role in the way you perceive and act and react and feel and function in life? These are some of the things that helps you to know yourself better and become that better person and more important person in yourself, because then you will be able to help others and be better at whatever it is that you're doing, and better at life because you know who you are, how you're made, and what makes you tick. These are all the things that you should consider, nothing else. Now, next we have Excalibur. We had that. No, we have Excalibur asks, what is your dream car, Mehran? Well, you know, my age is no longer 25. If you would have asked this question from me when I was 17 or 18 or 20, when I was in university, I would have different answers for you. I would have a car picked. But today, for me, a good car is a good car. If it has a certain kind of performance, ability, safety, and all that. What I expect from a car now is different than what I expected from a car when I was 25. So my answer would not really be interesting to you. Ask me about horses, my favorite horses. Interests change as the age changes. My interest is to know more about the universe, nature, energy, more about my own psyche, more about things that I can do and help others, more about stability and having an opportunity to learn and accomplish as much of my plans as I hope. So cars at my age don't have that excitement or importance as it once did. And once did. I was very much interested in cars, and I wish I have this car, I wish I have that car then. But then life takes over and you see there are lots of other things that could enhance your life in different way, and you focus on that. Marielos says, Mehran, why is it so hard for me to apply or actually do everything you advise? I'm like stuck in my own mentality. Well, Marielos, I would need a little bit more elaboration on that, because I really don't know where you are, what you're dealing with, what you've been focused on or not focused on, and what's distracting you, what the level of your focus or your thing. But in general, you have been conditioned to be in a certain way for so long of your life, and now you're learning things that part of them are the things that I'm sharing with you. So it will take a bit of time for you to recognize these abilities are real and they can make a change. But your impatience in life, most people's impatience in life, they want it to be like that, and they want the pain to go away right away, and without really learning how to make it go away. They just want it to go away. And even when you're trying to teach them how to get the pain away, they're still just focusing on pain rather than what's being shared as a way to get rid of the pain. So you're more focused on the problem than focusing on the things that you've learned that you can do. And because the results are not immediate, you still think that these are theories rather than actually can work. But like anything else, you go into a tennis court, you get the racket in your hand, you start hitting. You won't be a great tennis player, even though if you have the theory and know exactly what you should do. You still need to coordinate that with your thoughts and with your body to follow. And that needs a little bit of coordination and practice. So in time, by constantly doing what you're learning, from what we're talking about and the things that you're learning here, it will eventually fine-tune itself to become a default. And it will be time when you enter the tennis court, you will naturally be in the right position, right angles, how holding the rackets, what styles and what skills you would use. You wouldn't be thinking about it. It's just you. Just like how you get, you've been functioning until now without knowing this stuff. You've been doing it because that was you. Default, reaction to whatever was happening in a certain way was your way. Now that you're learning more stuff, the more you do it, then you're changing your style. Like a new coach comes into the tennis court and tells you, no, the way you hit this is wrong. But you won't be able to do it exactly as he says right away. It will take you a while. And when your coach helps you, and then you will keep doing what she says, and eventually you become good at it, and the new style overtakes the old style, and that becomes a default, and things will change. So keep doing what you're learning. Don't say, because it hasn't happened, I haven't been doing it exactly as I expect the results to be, therefore it doesn't work, I can't do it. You can. It just hasn't been done yet. So keep doing the little bit that you're doing. And ponder on them. You know, these are the things that you got to put you in consciousness and let your consciousness understand. And then it will become the guidelines, how to see things. And to know, as soon as you're perceiving something, you know what you're doing when you're looking at things. Before, most people, when they look at something, they just look at it and quickly they go into the memory, and suddenly they are perceiving what they're actually seeing and in contact with according to what memory they have had of the similar thing in the past, and no longer they're connected with that actuality of the present moment, and everything is based on what they have experienced in the past. But when you put this to work, after a while, you're always aware that I don't want to perceive it, I want to see it as it is, without image of what it is. I want not to use knowledge in order to understand what it is I'm experiencing with. Because knowledge is one of the reasons that you can't learn more. In other words, knowledge is the memory, the stuff that you accumulate in your memory. So when you see something or you act in a certain way in actuality with some situation, which is really based on your memory, so that knowledge doesn't let you see. Let's say you see a friend, and this friend, you know, you have a certain experience with that friend. So next time when you see the friend, you're not really seeing the friend as she is. You're seeing the friend as your memory, your knowledge in your memory you have of her. So that knowledge stops you from actually learning about how she is now. So these are the things that you want to focus on, that when I see her, or when I see things that I want to deal with, and I be focused on making sure that my knowledge will not actually hinder my understanding of what it is that I'm trying to achieve. And these are very balancing acts. So when you're aware of it, all these things become, fine-tunes you into a different, sharp and in-tuned person to your environment, to your life, and to be more true to the actuality of life at that present moment, rather than living your life in the death of the past, which is in the memory, perceiving things, and the memory is the past, and the past is non-existence, is dead. So most of us, the life, what we call living, is actually death of the past. So let's not get too deep in that one. Hard to get out. And so let's see who I missed here. That's David. Hello from Texas. Hello there. Zahin says, Mehran, how to stop thinking about your ex? Zahin, for God's sake, we've discussed that many times, and there hundred, many tapes, many videos on my channel. Just go on the channel and say how to stop thinking about any girl. And then you will see a number of them coming. And Zain says, even though I keep myself busy in work or in class, I can't distract myself from those memories. Yes, you can. And for that, you need to go to my channel, which you are now, and just key in the search box, how to forget someone, or how to forget the ex. Why you think X is important, why you crave X back, why you want X back. All these things will give you number of videos that by the time you're done with it, you totally have a different view of what you just asked. Excalibur says, Mehran, you didn't see Aso's question, I guess. No, I did, and I answered it. I think that was sent before. So Chris Smith, hello Mehran, hello dear. Crash says, remember guys, the deal here is that you tell me where you're tuning in when you put a question, and tell me your age. And if your picture doesn't show me if you're a man or woman, then just let me know that you are, because you're like for the name Crash and there's no picture, I don't know how young, how old, where you're tuning in, how old you are, and if you're a man or a woman. So at least it would be an appropriate response based on knowing a little bit more about you. Now, Crash says, even if we understand that someone has gone, why still in our subconscious her memory pops up? Why not? It happens with me at dead of the night. I'm fine in under daylight, but at night sometimes it's miserable. Oh, well, that's very simple. First of all, the memory pops up because your brain is a recorder. We are a recorder. We record 24/7. We record everything. So they're there in the memory, right? But during the day, you're busy with so many other things. So there's so many information, so many tasks, so many things that you're trying to accomplish, and you have a focusing ability and a reasonable responsibility, and a person who understands time management and priorities of things and things that needs to be done for survival or for finishing your projects, whatever it is, work, school, whatnot. So you have focus on something. Therefore, the priorities only accesses what you need to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. It's like a busy office during the day. But at night, everybody leaves the building and all offices are empty and quiet. No more sound at the printers or telephones or busyness of people walking. Everything is quiet. The same thing happens at nighttime when you finish your work and your mind is calm and you're trying to sleep or you're just sitting down. And that's when everything settles down in mind, and mind is calm, not busy things, not focusing on things. And then things that you were interested or you had in your mind that you recently have experienced or not recently experienced, simply you experienced sometime in your life, they get a chance because of the calmness of the mind. The reflection of the things in the memory becomes much easier to see. They're always there, but when you're focused on something else, you don't see them. When you're not focused on all the other things that you do during the day, then you become aware of what stuff is in the memory, that your thoughts, which is born from the field of the known, the consciousness, will be roaming around in the consciousness, and you pass by things and you notice them because you know they're there and you recognize them. It's like if you think of your mind as a library, if you think of yourself, your mind, as a library, and library being your consciousness, and in the library there are thousands of books, And those thousands of books represent topics of files and thoughts. And each page of those books could represent detail of those incidences that your thought would recognize. So library being your consciousness, books being your thoughts, and the pages would be detail of the incident of those the stories and so on. And so your consciousness being the library, your thoughts being the books, and you passing by in the library, and you'll notice all these books when you're not reading one. When you're reading a book, you're focused on that. When you're not reading and walking in the library, as thought does in the consciousness, you notice all the books that are there. And every book that you notice is a topic of the book, and your thought quickly remembers what stuff is in that book. The details come about. Why? Because it's settled. It's calm. You're not busy reading something. You're just walking about the library. And that's what thought does. Thought is constantly in the field of the known, walking around, being aware of the information available for the things that may come up and for the things that he or she is dealing as his life continues, whether sitting or walking around. You could be walking by peacefully, and you're not on a job or task, and are hurrying to do something, but you're walking, and as you're walking, your thoughts in consciousness is using all those knowledge in order to negotiate, perceive, understand, and help you to deal with what it is that you're doing while you're walking, or what you're seeing, watching, and so on and so forth. So that is why there's so much things that you notice, because you're quiet, you're not busy, you're not focused on anything, and you notice all these books in the library as you walk by, because you're not sitting somewhere reading, busy with it. Same thing, your thoughts is always in your consciousness, and your consciousness is the library, your thoughts are the books, and you remember, notice every book, what they have in them. And some of it is your ex. So soon enough there would be other things on your mind, and there would be newer books that you find in relationships with the new girlfriend or other things, and you will not pass by that book. You will not remember it so easily. I hope that something delivers what I wanted you to focus on. Standas says, you helped me to get over my ex last year. For that I will be always thankful to you. I laugh now and then when I'm looking back. Yes, that's the idea. Thank you for the feedback, and I appreciate that. But if you really got help here, I want you not to forget the channel. I want you to try your best in any appropriate way for yourself to share the videos that you like, whether they're about relationships, breakups, or they have nothing to do with the relationships. They're on the playlist, the Psyche, things about thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, things that have nothing to do with relationships, and share them on your social media and help the channel to be more popular, because that's the only way that the channel can actually get encouraged and survive, by getting a lot more viewers and subscribers and so on. And I've left it in big part in all my good subscribers who have been helped from the channel to actually promote the channel one way or another. And make sure, Stan, I don't know if that's your name, Stan, I call it Stan for now, because make sure that they go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and pick up that book, Me, My Psyche and I. Me, My Psyche and I. I want everybody to have that book. And that's precisely why I have turned the written book into ebook. A written book was $100, including shipping all around the world, but I knew that currencies are different, and some currencies, some countries, makes it difficult when they are exchanged to US dollar. So that's why I created ebooks, and the ebooks, instead of a book being $100, is like $5.99, $4.99, because there's no economic agenda in the ebooks project. I want everybody to have it, to be able to afford it. So pick up that me, my psyche, and I. And if you guys have any difficulty with transient thoughts, the thoughts that come to your mind and you have had nothing to do with it, you don't know why it showed up, you ask yourself, why is it there? What does it have to do with me? Does it define me? Does it mean I am this thought that came to my mind? Does it mean, how do I manage it? What do I do with it? What it means? All that, there's another book that I've written on the site, again, is available, $4.99 or something, ebook, Transient Thoughts and Me. And these are the things that I hope that you guys will remember to do. And by the way, guys, I don't know if I've mentioned it or probably not. I just launched, in order to help the channel, for economic needs of the channel, I just launched a T-shirt, which the emblem of the monk sitting and meditating is there. And then you have a choice of 7 of my sayings. You can have a choice of one of those sayings, choose which saying you want, and they will put that on the shirt under the emblem, and they will send it to you. So it comes in black and blue and white, and you can go on the link. I will put the link here when I'm done, or maybe I can do it now. I don't know where it is really. I have to find it. You can go on my Facebook page. I have ordered one for myself, and once it's here, I will take a picture of it and I'll put it there. But I will put the link on my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth Author, and you can see. And hopefully, if you guys like to have it like me, it helps the channel. Go and click on it and order it from that company. Will send it to you directly, and you pay them directly, and so on and so forth. And that would be another way that you will help the channel. At the same time, you have a nice T-shirt having to do with mindthatseekstruth.com, and underneath of it says, unlock your mind. I think that would be cool. So now let's see what David has to say here. And David says, a little off topic, but do you speak Farsi, Mehran? Yes, I do. At what age did you start learning English, and what was that like? Do you know any other languages? Well, I love languages. Let me just open this window. It's a bit warm here. Me now being full-blooded Canadian, we are used to cold. We like cold. We feel more fresh here when it's cold. To answer your question, yes, I speak Farsi. I left Persia when I was almost 18. In school, we had a choice to learn French or English, and most schools were teaching English as second language. So I learned bits and pieces here and there from my classes. And of course, my father spoke 5-6 languages. He had a PhD in law, and he was a highly educated man, and I learned a lot from my dad. So if I had questions or problems, my father helped me. And of course, I did travel with my mom and my brother when we were kids to Europe many times, perhaps every summer. And so that helped a little bit. And also I had an interest in languages. So then, of course, at that age, almost not quite 18, my father sent me to university in the States. And so there was learning English for first few months. And I was pretty good at it. I liked learning it, and I dedicated myself to learning it instead of hanging around with other Persians who were always speaking Farsi. I hung around with new friends that were my American friends, and we were speaking English. And I watched lots of television, and while I was watching it, I wasn't focused on just getting the story. I was also focused on how the word was put together when this sentence came out. When this actor or this newscaster said what he or she said, how that sentence actually was put together. So I learned that. And of course, I had good teachers in the school. I went to Seattle University for English language, ELS. and we had good teachers there. And our teachers had different accents. Like one of them was from New York. His accent was really difficult for many people to understand. He was talking differently. You know how the New Yorkers speak, a little bit smoother or a little bit more concealed in what they say. But so I was interested to learn them, unlock them, and I learned them. And I paid full attention to the teachers, how they were pronouncing things, how they were saying things, and the movies and the things, all the pronunciation, so on. So I tried my best, and then, you know, turned out okay. So of course, then university, I took courses that I had to take from, and you know, I wrote a lot, I wrote stuff. So, and then through business and so on, I wrote lots of contracts and lots of things. It came better and better, and learning things, reading and learning. So it comes to you. And the other languages that I like, I know a little bit of French, a little bit of Japanese, a little bit of German, a bit of Russian. Just things that I learned either through friends or studying in university. Like I did it on my own. Japanese, because I was involved in martial arts, I wanted to learn, and I picked up books in library and spent time on my spare times, learn it. German, I took some couple of courses in university because I needed to. And Russian, maybe on internet only, just because I wanted to see how the structure is, what it is. So I learned the things, a few things. French, from childhood, you know, some of my friends were going to French school, so I learned that, especially if there were girls and they were speaking French, so you wanted to learn that too, because, you know, that you had a motivation. So languages are very important to me because it always helps you to understand people better. If you speak their language, or at least you can hear a few words in their own language, you have a fuller picture of who they are. It's like you're looking at something from all angles. Let's say you're looking at a chair or a classy looking couch. If you're looking at it from this angle, well, you can see how it looks, but that's all the angle you see. If you go around the chair, the couch, you'll see all how it looks all around it. Now, when you have a language that you can speak, it's like getting to know that person a little bit more by knowing his or her language a little bit, a few words of it. It's like you're actually getting the whole entirety of how that person thinks. And it helps you to connect with people better. I hope that answers your question. Now, David, remember guys, I want to know where you guys are located. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Now, Crashes, thank you from my heart. You're welcome. And oh, I think I skipped a few. Crash says 30 years old male. Okay, thank you. So, okay, now Crash says you have a brilliant life force. Thank you. Each piece of laugh in your each video is worthy of admiration. But tell me the secret of such a life force. I don't know. I've always been a kid who tried to understand the importance of good mood and try to challenge myself mentally. I remember when I was a kid, this is a little personal, but I think you guys would be interested in relation to this question. When I was a kid and there was some reason that I was crying, I don't know why I was crying. Maybe I was something that between me and my brother, or was it something that I was scolded by my parents or whatever. I remember when I was crying, I went in front of the mirror, and while I was seeing myself crying, I said, let's see how strong is my mind. Let's see if I can stop crying and laugh right away. Let's see if I can see I'm in control of what I can feel rather than just give in to what I think I should be sad. So I would turn the cry, ooh, and then start laughing and then go back to cry. So I learned, I guess, by these tests that I can change things. It's not, we can't always, at least to some extent, we can't always be subjected to what it is dished out. If we can change it, we got to do our best. So I had this mentality of trying to make things happen, solve things, sift through things, find solution to things, find ways. And that's why at one point in my life, I was pretty good at chess. I would never find that the king is mate. I would, even though often many would think, okay, that's it, you're mated, I would find a way, and it wasn't. And I would continue the game, and I could even win it. So the idea of solving problem and not giving up was something somehow was engraved into my fiber. And of course, lots of challenges in life, difficult challenges that I faced with, and I dug deep and I came through, also encouraged and enforced the idea that I can change things, I can do things. And that was all part of how you end up to be trained and conditioned to believe in yourself. You can make differences. And of course, you know, I always liked helping people. I always liked to see and feel people's pain. And when I started training Aikido in university, I took to it like fish to water. I really enjoyed it, to learn about these forces, the energy of the universe, the ki. So I trained a lot to learn and focused on it. Then I taught it for many years here in this town, and helped sharing that knowledge with lots of people while I was getting better myself. So this force that you talk about is a real thing to me. It's called ki. The same thing as Star Wars uses the force. And for me, Star Wars has a special place in my heart because it kind of makes us see the ki that we were trained in, but in movie, in actual physical form. And so that's why it's so special for me. So, and then you can train that happy force or positive force, because there's so many negative forces in life, and if you can encourage and train your positive force to be a stronger force, then it can wash over, win over the negatives coming. It's like two rivers coming towards each other, head to head. The one that is stronger is going to go over and fold over the other one and keep going. And that's how you want your ki to be strong. So when you meet people who have negative energy and who are negative or negative circumstances, you will have enough force and power to encourage you and propel you to attain the results that you're hoping for. At least do your best, whether you reach it or not, but do your best in whatever it is that is challenging in your life. So that is a training that some of it starts, but you may not know anything about it, but you can train yourself and get that force, become with that force that is flowing toward the universe from one end to the other and passes through you, and you can learn how to become one with it. In short, there are videos on my channel that talks about willpower and in detail about this, how to have a stronger mind, how to have willpower, and so on. And it explains further. And in my book, Me, My Psyche, and I have a big chapter on this meditation, how to meditate, on about this whole idea of the ki and the universe and harmony with the nature and all that. And these are all there for you to explore. Now tell me guys, are we lagging or are we okay? Because it seems to me lags here, even though I have shut every other Wi-Fi user thing here, computers. So, and my line is green, but I sometimes have a little bit of a lag. So I hope it is not lagging for your end. So I hope that answered your question, Crash. Now, Dolce Vita must be okay. Hello from Alabama. I am a 24-year-old girl. Hello, Dolce. Is that what your name is? Dolce. Is it Italian? Or is it just a name you used? And she says, how to stop blaming myself, because my ex-boyfriend constantly told me I wasn't mature enough, and the girl he thought I would be. Eventually, he broke up with me. Well, nobody is mature coming out of the wombs of his or her mother. We all are at one point or another mature or immature, depending on what the criteria or what the situation, circumstances. Yeah, maybe in comparison in some things, in comparison with yourself now, you were not so mature then, but he must have not been mature in many other things. So it's not something that it was only you who were not mature, or maybe you were. It was just his way of trying to bamboozle you and trying to control you or trying to manipulate you by calling you you're not mature just to get his way. It's to make you feel you're being childish and to yield in accepting his opinion or his perception of whatever it was. So I really can't tell if, and you can't tell really, or I can't tell that if you're actually immature. Immature to compare to what? What is the situation? If you like somebody, or if you don't like somebody, if you like something, or if you don't like something, well, to some people you're mature because you like it. To some people you're mature because you don't like it, and the other way around. So it's a relevant thing. It's not necessarily what he says is true. Now, about blaming yourself, why would you blame yourself? We are like a little horse. We can't do certain things, but when we grow up, we can. So we are on that stage. You can't expect a 2-year-old horse to be as strong as a 5-year-old and do the things, the speed or the jumps and the expertise in certain things to be trained just as good as a older horse. But that 2-year-old will become 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and become just as, or if not more mature or more expert in what the older horse was. So so the idea of forgiving yourself, blaming yourself should not be there at all. You should not blame yourself, because that is what you are. That's the journey you're taking, and you should have been the way you were in order to be the way you are now. How could you be here if you weren't here? How could you be as mature as you are now if you weren't immature here, if you were immature? How could you be in this part of your journey if you haven't passed this part of your journey? So there's certain different pathways and terrain for you to negotiate until you get here. Now, if somebody who's already passed through these, or somehow pretends that he never had to pass through that, he was always here in this position of the stage of the journey, he was always mature and wise, well, that's baloney. So there's nothing for you to blame yourself. Just focus on what it is that you need to think deep and judge well to make your decisions, and don't be swayed by people who try to manipulate you and call you names and things as if they are the symbol of maturity themselves. They probably are not mature in many other things, if not in this particular one that you're dealing with. Maybe he was immature himself by saying all these things. There's nothing for you to blame yourself. Stop blaming. Love yourself and learn from life and better yourself, and that's all you can do. The rest of it is bullshit. Asso says, I'm suicidal. All I think of is dying. We've discussed this before, Asso. Why would you think that you will gain more of love and experience of life if you're no longer alive? I mean, what logic is that makes you think where there's a field for you to play and become better at the game is not good enough, but if you're totally out of the field, you'll play the game better? How could that be? If you're alive, you can deal with things, you can learn things, you can move on, advance, and get advice and get expertise in things, and things change, and you wouldn't even be concerned of the things that you're concerned now, it seems, because time passes, your interests will change, and your focuses will change. All of that can change. Why would you think in the arena of life that there's so much opportunities and changes are possible? You don't want to wait around and see what wonderful other things universe has stored for you, and you just want to what? Kill yourself? What is it? Is it your life that you want to kill? It belongs to all of us. It belongs to the whole universe. It belongs to the whole world. It belongs to the advancement or organization and intelligence and helpfulness of the whole world, that you are here. You have a role. Your role is not here to simply think, oh, I couldn't get this guy and therefore I want to kill myself. That was it? The whole idea of you being in this world, beating all those 300 million other sperms and get to be born, and then your parents spend so much time and energy, and your teachers and everything that went on through your childhood, and you get here, and now your whole worth and value and this investment's equal to this guy liking you or don't liking you or whatever it is that you feel you want or it should be and it's not. That's it? What about the rest of us that we counted on you being in this world to pick up part of this weight that we are all dealing, part of this journey to push this caravan that we're all trying to push and pull together, and then advance in a better, create a better life and better world for ourselves and for the ones who come after us? What about that? What about our rights to see you here helping us to make a better world? What if every one of us thought that we got to kill ourselves? Where would you be? Where would anybody be? Anything be? And what would we learn? The first sign of difficulty, we decided we fly the coop. We just go. The first sign of that we go after the ball in the soccer field, we fall. So, oh shit with it. I don't want it. I couldn't score. So I go out. I don't want to play. The hell with soccer. Well, that's a game. Life is a game. It's not that serious. Then you think that if you die, what are you going to do? Suddenly you become a great soccer player because you couldn't play it here when you were alive. When you die, it's done. It's dead. It's finished. It's gone. What's there to go for? Huh? Come on now. Don't disappoint yourself. Hey, there's so many people love you and will love you, if not now. And your whole life story and journey should not be summed up. It's some relationship situation that somebody wants you, somebody doesn't want you. They are not the ones who give you value. You are. The fact that life has brought you here has given you the value and affirmation already. Life is bigger than the jackass who doesn't want you or whatever it is. Life is far bigger than the person who does want you or does not want you. Because that person is part of this life. So life is bigger than that person. It's not like life is part of him. He is part of life. So life is bigger than that. So why would you think that if you can't be chosen by the guy, or if you can't have the guy, that suddenly the guy is the one who should give you the value when he's just part of life? But life itself has given you the value by bringing you here and giving you birth to this life and making you part of this game, to experience this. And instead of you experiencing it, whether you are with somebody or not, whether you can get the guy that you want or not, But it's all a part of the experience for you to experience it, to become a more advanced person with these experiences, this way or that way, and then you can help yourself and help the universe and life as a whole in a more elaborate and skillful way. That's the whole story. What is this business of I want to kill myself? Just, she doesn't love me, I want to kill myself. He doesn't want you, you want to kill yourself. Where did you guys suddenly find this life? Was it on the corner of the street in dog shit? It was so cheap and easy your life was? There have been so much, thousands of years of effort and history and genes have passed through until it became your turn and you became evolved, and this evolution of you has now been born, chosen to be born in this life to better herself and contribute to the whole life as a whole. You can't simply talk like this. So please recognize your value by the fact that the life has chosen you here, far bigger than any evaluation you can get from some guy or some girl here. There. Who are they? Who are they? They're just something that you experience, and you've now decided that they're the entirety of life. Why? They're not the entirety of life. You're actually allowing your desire to become controlling you and making you think that your desire for something is the entirety of life. Just imagine, let's just play a short game. You say this guy seems to be entirety of your life. What if it was an apple? You know, there are many things in this life. Let's say an apple, one thing. One guy, one animal, one thing to eat, one home to have, one car to have, one apple. One thing, one thing. How could one thing, this apple, to be the entirety of your worth and value? If you have it, you're valuable. If you don't, you're nothing. How could the whole value of your life be in one thing? An apple. Or this guy. Or that guy. Or that girl. Or that girl. Or becoming this. Or not becoming that. These are all one things. How could one thing represent the whole thing? You're part of the whole thing. You can't talk like this, that you couldn't get this, therefore that is everything, therefore it's not. It's your desire that you're treating it to become everything. You desire the apple, you think the apple is everything. No, it's your desire. So therefore, undesire him. Undesire the apple. Do not desire it. It's in your control. Don't fluff your ego. Don't go after fluffing your ego by fulfilling your desire for something to make your ego think that is something. It's nothing. Whether you get this guy or nothing, the guy is nothing. Nobody is nothing other than you. For you is everything, and your connection with the nature, and your duties in this life to experience and enjoy and be joyful and bring that good energy from your joy to extend to life. That's your duty. That's why you should not be sad. You have a duty to extend energy, good energy to this universe and to people and this life as a whole. And don't let things that keeps you sad, like this, a relationship, they should never make you sad. So you can attend to your positive presence here and duty and role in this life to make it better by being happy, moving on, and extending more better energy to everybody else, as everybody will do the same, will also be extending it to you. So let's go on to see the next one. Excalibur says, Mehran, how to deal with sensitivity to words? Yes, it's a very good question. I have a video on the YouTube. If you go on the search and search, or is it in the video? I think it's in the video, Power of Words. Or it's in Me, My Psyche and I, the book. So either go on my site, mind-that-seeks-truth.com, and pick up the ebook Me, My Psyche and I, if you haven't already. And there is a chapter about words, the power of mind, power of words, or words have power, something like that. I have to let's see if I can Well, go on the search site and just do words, a power of words, word, and see what comes out. let me see if I can do that. Let's see if I can actually do that. Let me have a sip of this. All right. Okay, so let me see. There is called power of word. Word. Says the role of words in teaching. Are words the bridges between our thoughts? I gotta watch that myself. I don't know what I said in there. That's interesting. Then there's another one called words 2. There it is. There's one called affected by the words. I think that would be what you're looking for. If you just go on the search and put the word in the search, you will get, oh God, how many? You get lots of. Well, actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 of them are just something in old ones about my books. Not these books, some old book. But there is one called to be judgmental, to be okay with everything. That's one. No, that's not it. Breakup, psychology of why we feel like we do. Breakup, that's not the word. Going through separation, that's not the word. Special response to subscriber email. I don't know what that question is. Whatever it was 33-minute video. Special response to subscribers email. Gee, I did spend lots of time for you guys, didn't I? Now go and promote the channel, for God's sake. Don't forget. Now there's one called the books are here. Yeah, okay. There's one called affected by the words, and that's 6 minutes and 58 seconds. And there's another one called word 2. That's 5 minutes and 13 seconds. I guess that's what you will probably be able to get. Let's see.
Despite being one of...
Let me just shut this off. I'm gonna put the link up there for you guys, and all right, there's the link. Okay, I put the link for you down there. Who asked the question, by the way? That was Excalibur. Yeah, I put the link down there, and when you go there, there's also another version called 2, words 2. So that should answer your question. Crash says 30-year-old male. Okay, thank you. And Jack, hello again, Mehran. Hello, Jack. Chris says male 46 from UK. Thank you, Chris. Chris says it's nice to eventually tune into your live broadcast. Okay, good that you're here, Chris. I appreciate that. I had to learn how to do this thing. Now we have Olga. She says, hello, Mehran. How to deal with low energy? Some people are very energetic and active by nature, and some just doesn't have it, I guess. Well, Olga, it's a good question. And of course, the answer is in 2 parts, meaning you need to focus on the physical entity of yours and the mental entity of yours, which means, of course, I don't know how much you are in tune with your nutritional values and so on. Of course, there are vegetables and juices that you can put together, like beet, parsley, celery, apples, or carrot, apple, celery, parsley, and beet. These are all things that take care of nutritional values, some of the things that can help you with, taking good care of your body and physical fitness, because energy is very simple. If you don't have it to have conflux, the energy becomes stale. And if you want to have a fresher energy, it's like a glass of water. If you let the water sit here for a while, that water is not as fresh. Something changes in it. And in order for it to be holding more fresh water, it can't hold because it's already full. What do you have to do? You have to empty some of the water to the ground, to the flower, something useful, and then now you can pour more water, more fresh water into it. Now the energy is the same. If you don't use it, it stays in you and it's cooped up. And it's not the kind of energy that will help you be bouncy and use it. So you need to exercise to get the old energy out, using it for something, getting stronger muscles and so on and so forth. And then new energy will come to it while you're exercising. The same thing as meditation for mind. That's, when you meditate, it's like you're getting rid of the old energy, and you're bringing new energy and filling your body. And then your body and mind have been taken care of through exercise for physical and through meditation and relaxation, which encourages new energy coming. It's no different than when you've done cooking in the kitchen, and then now there's smoke and the smell and all these food stuff is in the air. Now what you have to do, you got to open the window, otherwise it will be stale air and not really palatable and fun or fresh. So you open the window for the smoke to go out and fresh to come in. Because as soon as you get rid of the smoke, the other part of filling with the new air, that's automatic. That's already taken care of by the universe. Same thing. When you do exercise, the energy exchange will take place. You're not just losing energy, you're spending the energy to benefit your body, the heart rate, the cardiovascular, and the muscles to be stronger, and so on, depending on what you do. And at the same time, if you meditate, you're just like when you exercise, getting the old energy out, you're also getting the old energy out of your mind energy, your other part of the entity. And in both cases, the natural exchange, as you're using your exercise energy, the new energy will come and replenish you, make you feel better, and clean up all the bits and pieces and all the nook and crannies, and cleans the pipes and makes sure that this new energy flows better. The same thing happens when you meditate. Again, naturally, new energy comes in as you meditate and focus on having a conflux. This is all about conflux. When you exercise, you create conflux between your energy and the that you spend and the energy that comes to your body. And when you meditate, you also create conflux between the energy of the universe and the energy that is running through you. You encourage it to be fresh. It's like you go stand in front of the ocean and scoop down a bit of water out of the ocean, and you look at it and you say, my water. Well, in your eyes, this is your water. But in the eyes of the great ocean water, it's part of the great ocean's water in your hand. Same thing with us. We have encased some life energy in us, in our body, and we say, my life. In my eyes, it's my life. But in the eyes of the great universe, is part of the universe's life, nature's life, in my body. So now, the same thing back to the ocean thingy. If you keep the ocean water out in your hand for long, it will go spoiled, stale, start stinking eventually. Of course, got salt, doesn't stink that much, but it'll go stale. But if you want it to be as fresh, you got to put it back in the ocean and let it have conflux with the water, great water of the ocean. So it will be part of the whole again. Same thing with your energy. When you meditate, you're creating conflux with the energy of the nature, which constantly helps you to have an automatic exchange when you constantly do meditate. And then even when you're not meditating, it becomes part of the default to do a better exchange than if you're not training yourself in meditation and making this exchange more of an automatic thing for you. more of a pleasant and a natural thing for you. So when you meditate, you're creating this conflux between your energy and energy of the universe. And when you exercise, you create this conflux of body doing what it needs to do in order to be in shape. And meditation, you do the energy part, and the mind becomes in shape to have more connection and flow with the energy of the universe, with the key of the universe. So these two will create that energy. The eating good stuff, the exercising, the meditating, all that puts your body and mind in proper coordination and tuning, in better connection with the universal flow of energy. And that is great, because we really don't get our energy limited to ourselves. This energy is coming from ends of the universe and passes through us from all directions to all directions. So we need to encourage it and learn how to have it, to have conflux with the mother of the energy that is passing through us, not becoming a person who hasn't taken good care of their body and mind. And this energy, when it wants to pass through us from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, we become a stumbling block and doesn't let it flow through. And that's when we don't have much energy. We become depressed, cooped up. So maybe, again, if you catch my ebook, Me, My Psyche and I, it has a big chapter on meditation and how to learn to do that. Just 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, and that will help a lot to encourage this conflux exchange. And then you will feel much more energetic. Everything starts working better. Definitely makes a difference. And Crash says, thank you from my heart, my pleasure. Sobia says, God, when this'll go away. I'll be here for a while. I don't know what. I won't go away. We've got things to do. I don't know what you mean. Maybe I read the next question that you have here. Chris says, on the t-shirt, why does the Chris, you want this to be on the t-shirt? Why does the donkey piss in the street? That's a good one, but I don't think it will really give a good message out, a meaningful message. There are enough good stuff that you can choose. I have many sayings, but I've chosen 7 of them for now because they have a limitation, I guess. So you can choose the t-shirt color and the size, and then choose the saying that goes underneath the logo emblem. And now Sobia says, how to deal with jealousy. Again, Sobia, this is a good topic, and it's a long one, and I just have been talking a lot and don't want to go for another half an hour on one question and not do a good justice to it. If you go on my channel, which you are now, in the search, just put jealousy and how to deal with jealousy. You will have a number of these come. Even maybe I'll have a playlist called jealousy. I'm not sure. But if you just put in the word jealous or jealousy, you will have a bunch of them coming out, and then you will see what it comes out with. Or let me just see if I can maybe find it for you. Ooh, so many. There is one called Jealousy After Breakup. There is one called Why Do I Need to Know About My Psyche to Be Able to Better Deal with My Breakup. Okay, forget that. And the other one, Jealousy After Breakup. Well, let me just put this for you. There's one, what ego, there's other, means fall, how to deal with jealousy. Okay, all right, let me just do this and help you out with this one. Now, guys, there's about there's about 750 videos on this channel. You probably, most probably, can find almost any scenario that you have. Here it is. I'm gonna put the link here for you, Sobia. And also I'm gonna choose this other one as well. One there. Jealousy after breakup. Okay. No, I think I just did this. That's the one I just did. Yeah. Okay. But there's another one I also want to send it through. What is ego and how to drive it away? Oh, that must be interesting as well. Some of these things I gotta listen to them myself because I don't really remember what it was. All right. Number 48. And okay, so you can try this one as well. Where is it? How to deal with jealousy. All right, and that's the other one that I'm going to put down here. So these two should help you. And let's see what was the rest of your question. How to deal with jealousy? Sobia says, watching your ex talking to someone you don't like and seeing them happy and getting happier financially or with jobs and promotions, while me being nothing but useless. Well, you know, again, useless is a term that should not be used for anybody, and definitely you shouldn't use it for yourself. And if you think that you want to have more financial abilities or happiness, well, create that for yourself by looking at them and seeing how happy they are or how financially successful they are. That doesn't make you financially successful or happy. You got to focus on what you're going. You can't keep looking at them and start and thinking that you can run fast and finish how far you want to run. If there are two people running, if you keep looking at where he is, how close he is to you, how fast he is running, you lose your own focus on really doing a good job on what it is that you want to run and accomplish, or whatever job it is. So you should focus on whatever it is that you should focus for your life. Forget about them. What jealousy? What have they accomplished? Okay, so two people like each other. Okay, great, fine. And you go and find your own fortune and make something out of yourself if you think you're not much. Learn something, educate yourself, get experience in some job, and persevere and work hard on it and build it, and you will cherish it and say, I did this and I did it with hard work. I didn't give up. I didn't sit and watch others to have fun. I went and also created my own life. That's what you do. You focus on your life. Don't worry about who's doing what. Who cares? Just as some people are, happier or maybe found somebody that they like or they're financially doing better than you, there are other people who are not doing as good as you. But that's not the idea, to compare yourself to someone has more or someone has less to feel good about yourself. The idea is to focus on what you want to do and what you think you want and go get it through honest, hard work, perseverance, and, relentless focus on it and accomplish it. Otherwise, nobody's going to hand you anything. So, I'm sure you can do that. He says, I'm a doctor myself and I'm still not sure how to survive. You're a DR yourself, meaning you're a doctor. Let's see, what was the rest of the question? Someone didn't like you singing. Okay. So I bet you just need to focus on yourself and stop focusing on them. Focus on your life, for God's sake. And you will build it the way you like. These things pass. People, make up, break up, and did this one, that one. You can't measure your happiness and satisfaction based on what other people's happiness and achievement or satisfaction is. Who cares? People are different. Go and build your own life. Focus on that. Now, David says, thank you, Mehran. You definitely have a grasp on the English language. And I agree that learning a new language definitely opens the door to new views and understanding. Age 22, location Dallas. Okay, good. And what is your mother tongue language, David? And what is your background? And here I have Sobia says, I'm lagging for my specialization. I had plans for PLAB, but now dropped that off because of him. He is in UK now. I'm planning to take USMLE, but I'm unable to study. You should be able to study. All of these are bullshit. All of their excuses. Not him, no other person, not your girlfriend, not her new boyfriend, not anybody else can have anything to do with what you want to achieve in this world. It's only your own mind. I remember Bruce Lee in one of his talks said that the biggest mountain stumbling block in your life is your own mind. When you say you can't, then you can't. But when you simply don't say that, you can do almost anything within reason. Mind is a very powerful thing that can make you or not make you do things. You can give it excuses and use this girl or this relationship or this what you couldn't have or that what you couldn't have as an excuse for you not to do what it is that you wanted to do. But what are you going to gain from not doing what you wanted to do? Would you be gaining from not achieving your plans as much as you would have gained if you would have done and achieved your plans and accomplished what you wanted to accomplish? Can you answer this? If the answer is no, then why the hell is it that you even consider not doing it when you know doing it will give you what you wanted to do? Of course, you will have a far better chance to find a better girlfriend or more suitable girlfriend, or even, I don't know if this one will hang around later on and see, oh, I'm not happy with that one, and then sees you're successful and comes back to you. Oh, if that's really that important to you, which I really shouldn't. She went, good ridden, go to somebody else. But the worst thing here is how you treat yourself, not how she treated you, not how the new boyfriend to your ex-girlfriend is or is not doing, how good is doing or not. It's how you treat yourself, what you tell yourself, how you affect yourself. That's where the energy should be promoted, and that's how encouragement should take roots from. Not other people. Other people, naturally, not everybody is going to have your best interest in mind. They'll be happy if you're not successful, maybe. Some assholes. So you shouldn't be relying and waiting for somebody to cheer you on. If anything, they will try to drag you down. So your mind, one person that you can trust and rely on, should be you. Not just because something didn't happen the way you wanted. Some girl, wow, what was that? Intimacy, sex, some relationship. What is she going to give you other than these things when she doesn't want to be with you? Other than these things, what else can you consider that she could offer you? If she was with you, you would have built a life. That's different. But if a girlfriend is not with you, doesn't want to be with you, gone somewhere else, so why you think of her as if she would actually be qualified to give you all the things that you want to achieve in life, other than all she's good for is the fact that you think you're missing the intimacy. But when she's not with you, other than intimacy, what else can you be thinking she can provide? And isn't that something that you can get from so many other wonderful girls out there if you get to know them and they will get to know you, and you guys both give each other's consent to further your relationships. So what is it that you think she's so special that without her you can't accomplish what your plans? It's your desire. Undesire her. Give your desire to somebody else. It is you who has the ability to desire someone. It's your desire and wants that makes someone important. They're not important by themselves unless you desire them. Then they become important. The value and importance of people and things are equal to your desiring them. That's it. They don't have the value and importance by themselves, carrying on themselves. It is you who actually bestows upon them. It gives them value by desiring them, by choosing them. So don't choose her. Choose somebody else, then you'll see that person, that girl has value that you think it's all that. It's all in you. Let's go to the next one. Sobia. Let's go to the next one. Crash says, love from India. You're great. Thank you, Crash. Dolce Vita, thank you so much. I needed to hear that from someone wiser. Okay, good. And Brad S. Hi from London. Hello, Brad. Excalibur says, thanks for the link, Mehran. By the way, we reached 17 people watching, which is a lot higher than our usual 6 to 10. That's good. Yes, yes, yes. Well, maybe it's the time, or also, I don't know, maybe it's the season for that. But when I was doing live talks on the Amazing Things in the World Facebook page, and they reached 5 million people, and every time that I had a live talk, there were 22,000 people it would reach, out of which there were a couple of thousand, 6,000 or 7,000, or a number, big numbers, were actually you know, on the watching the program. And I may still do some of that sometimes, but they were not on Facebook for a while. And my own page, Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, author, or the books, I used to do that constantly, 2 times a week, Saturdays and Sundays, one on Amazing Things in the World Facebook page, and the other one on my own Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth Facebook page. And I had at least 150, 200 people. And since I've moved to YouTube and not done the Facebook page, I guess YouTube, they're just getting used to it, but still not the numbers that we were hoping for. So we hope that you guys will promote the channel as I mentioned and asked you, and we will eventually have more and more people. But until then, I will do it both on YouTube and Facebook in order to keep promoting the channel and also helping and reaching more people. Okay, now we have, okay, Brad is talking to Chris. Okay, that's that. Excalibur says, my version of your shirt would say whether it's scratched or not. Who gives a shit? Okay. And we have Sobia says, God bless you. Thank you for those words, Mehran. Really means a lot, as I do not open up to anyone. By the way, I'm a girl. Thanks for this. See, if you would have told me that you're a girl, because your little picture, I can't see anything. And Sobia doesn't tell me anything because I don't know if that's a real name, or If it is, I am not familiar with that, with the names to tell the difference. So at least I would have addressed you right, instead of saying, you know, the girl left you, so the guy left you. So next time, always remind me where you're tuning in, your age, and if you're a boy or a girl, man or a woman. And she says, by the way, I'm a girl. Thanks for the, I don't know, there's a picture of a lock or something. Man or chain. Man, it's 4:09 a.m. here in Pakistan, and I speak Urdu and English. Ah, okay. Urdu has some Farsi roots, I believe. So it's very late for you. Go to sleep. You probably got things to do. And you're becoming a what is the field of your study? You said, are you becoming a doctor, or what is it? I didn't get that part, Sobia. And is Sobia your name? Sobia says Link. Ah, Link. That's a real name. Okay, Sobia. Okay, good. MBBS. I gotta get to know these abbreviations. I don't know what that means. Okay, but delighted that you enjoyed it. And so, guys, I think I've answered everybody's question. We are now 1 hour 46 minutes. For God's sake, I mean, I hope I'm not working for free. Oh, I am actually. so, guys, don't forget to promote the channel. That's really what I need for you guys to help me with. If you have enjoyed the channel, I would really appreciate it. And Sobia says, I'm a doctor, done with the studies. Yes, it's my name. Sobia, if you're a doctor and you talk the way you did and be worried about the things you did, if I was there, I would try to, I don't know, pull your ear or something, because as highly educated as you are, as valuable and important person that you've turned yourself to be for the well-being of the others, that needs a certain character. And for that kind of a character, I should never hear you talk like that about yourself, about your value and worth. You are far more valuable than you have ever tried to understand. So focus on yourself, love yourself, and do the best you can. There's wonderful life ahead of you. Don't miss it. Don't let it be fogged on or become distorted by some nonsense or bullshit or some relationship or some guy. Who gives a shit? They're nothing compared to what you can build and rise in your life for you and for the whole humanity as well. Take good care of yourself, for sure. I hope to see you again here soon. Okay, guys, so I think we've answered everybody. I love you all. Take good care of yourself and to the others, and be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.